We are live. Hello, everyone. Good evening from wherever you are watching us, tuned in to the Sunshine Silas Show. You are welcome. That was a good one from Tim Godfrey there, Nara Ekele, which simply means thank you, Jesus. Yes, on this note, we welcome you officially to the second edition of the Sunshine Silas Show. I'm so excited and honored to have you tune in to enjoy this episode with us this evening. I have a very important and special guest on the show with us this evening, connected to us all the way in Houston, Texas, the United States of America. Ladies and gentlemen, with a round of applause, please help me welcome our very special guest for tonight, none other than the very our own person, Mr. Bruce Horn. He is the Director of Forensics and Computer Analysis of Texas. Mr. Bruce Horn, you're welcome to the show.
Hi there. It is a pleasure to be on the show, and I'm looking forward to informing everybody in the world of forensics.
That's interesting. Before we head on to the show proper, begin to ask the questions, What is it like in Texas tonight or this afternoon? It's about 3 p.m. in Texas right now.
Well, actually, it's quite hot. Most of Texas is really in the summertime. It's ranging from 90 to 100 degrees. So it's pretty
What?
hot the day.
Up to 100 degrees?
Yes, yes. In the summertime, it gets quite hot here.
It's a very cold evening for us, particularly in Port Harcourt in Nigeria presently. Well, different strokes for different folks, that's what they say. But I'm sure you're having a good time regardless of the weather.
Yes, yes. It has. We're looking at a hurricane in Florida, but again, it's quite nice today.
Wow. And you mentioned the hurricane in Florida. Any updates on it?
No, lately I think it haven't been let landfall. It should hit landfall. I think I'm trying Monday or Tuesday, but we are watching it.
Okay. We are praying for everyone in Florida. We are praying for everyone situated in that vicinity at this moment that the Lord will be with them and there will be no losses.
Yes.
Okay, Mr. Bruce, you're a man of many parts, and I'd like you to introduce yourself officially to our audience. Let's get to know who is Mr. Bruce Horn.
Yeah, it's my pleasure. Again, I started my career back in the 80s, went to school, went to college, and actually worked for the local government in computers. Since then, I work for a computer company that most of us are very familiar with. I work with Compaq and HP. That's where I
Wow.
started my career in computers. I was a system engineer, project manager. So, and when when HP consumed Compaq, got laid off, and then went into forensic. So my original career wasn't forensic because it was so new back in the 80s. It became so popular now. We all look at the show, CSI, we look at our MTIS. So we all love forensic. Back then, you just was computer person. So I actually been so I've been director of computer analysis Texas about 25, 30 years. So I actually dibble and dabble, did programs for the local police department. So I have been on both sides, defense side and prosecution side. So
Wow,
have
wow, wow, that's a whole lot. I'd like to find out you've been in this career for the past 25 years. Can you tell us a bit about your organization, the Forensic and Data Analysis of Texas?
Yeah, computer analysis was a computer company. It advanced into a forensic company. Presently, we do forensic for local agencies. We have went even far as doing work out of the country, Brazil and other places. But we actually image computers, image phones. You can image cars. You can image DVRs anywhere you have digital evidence. Forensic is just so broad and it's changing every day. So in our company, we do a lot of studying. We do a lot of challenges. They bring a problem, we solve it.
Wow.
Strangely is that we have cameras everywhere. Cameras can be enhanced. Cameras. So basically, with the data out there, you can't hide or you can't do anything without somebody recording you or tracking you.
Yeah, that's very true. Particularly in the US where you have all these cameras here and there. But you've mentioned the word forensic. For a lot of people who are not too familiar with all of this technical terminologies, what exactly do you mean when you say you're a forensic expert and a computer analyst?
Okay. So expert comes in. The court system have deemed me I am a resident expert. It means that I know enough that the average person don't know. That's a little small term. So basic forensic is the collection of data because I do data recovery, basically
Wow.
on phones, computers, uh, DVRs, your car, anything that has a digital image. We recover it, analyze it, and then package it back to the attorney or the client itself. So when we say forensic is anything you consider that is on our side is data that actually is not visible to the human eye in some cases. In some cases, is if you look at forensic, is that everything on your phone can be recovered. So a lot of times you have data that actually people have intentionally deleted or accidentally deleted. We recover it. Cell phones, computers are the same thing. Cameras, we enhance video where you see a blurred picture, it actually can be enhanced. So
Wow.
anything that has a digital image, a digital data will be more accurate.
Well, so basically, you are a data expert, and
Correct.
for me, the world has become a global village. So I'm asking, is there any part of the world today that doesn't deal with data?
No, sir. Basically,
Wow.
everywhere in the world is some form of data. If it's not computers, it's cell phones. So basically, in most parts of the world, you have something that collects data.
Wow. So basically, in your career path, you are relevant in every sector of society.
Pretty much is. I'm a certified forensic expert. I'm a certified forensic hacker, and that scares most people. It means that basically I have achieved a certification that allow you to go in companies and find out, do you have security breaches. So basically, a lot of companies will go and say, okay, we have a problem, and we want to see that can someone hack into our network before someone does.
Wow.
Certified in Microsoft, certified in Apple, certified in wireless. So basically, any form of electronic devices, I hold a certification.
Well, that means there is absolutely no privacy anymore, isn't it?
That's correct. It is no privacy. Even on the internet, Google is actually tracking you. So I have had several cases where they physically pulled up every single word that you Googled is actually recoverable. That's almost kind of scary, but unfortunately, that's the
It
life
is
we live.
scary. It is scary.
Yes, sir.
So basically, even when I'm googling up stuff from the privacy of my bedroom, you mean there is someone there who's actually previewing all my content?
You will actually can recover all your contacts. We're assuming they're not doing it at the same time, but yes, you can yes recover all those strange things that you Google in the night.
Very very interesting, Mr. Bruiser. As we progress, let me take you down memory lane a bit. Let's talk
Okay.
about your background. What was it like growing up as a child? What was your family like? Can you just give us a preview sneak peek into what growing up was
Yes,
like for you?
again, I grew up with three brothers and three sisters. So we
Wow.
grew up usually. My mother was on the board of education. My father played basketball and worked in the steel industry. So in our case, we didn't have all the money, but we didn't know we didn't have all the money. So my mother had a community center that helped people in the community. So a lot of times they thought we had 100 people in the community center, and there was actually only two families. So, but yeah, but, but again, is that I guess in my career path, I was told by my mother, Miss Emma Horn,
Wow.
that actually I just tore up stuff. Now I didn't put it back together. I tore it up. So, so I guess I'm making up for all the things I tore. I can put them back together when I'm older.
Wow, wow, that's interesting, very
Yeah,
interesting.
yeah.
Okay, let me ask you, sir. You've talked a bit about your family, your background, what growing up was like for you. I want to find out, are there major challenges that you faced growing up as a child who had a dream to become successful? I believe that success is not an accident. It's deliberate and it's intentional. Let me start by asking, did you have a vision of yourself when you were growing up to be a forensic expert or a computer analysis expert? How did
Well,
you get to where you are?
I had a dream to actually work on computers. So I think the expert comes in is that the the love of computers and technology.
Mm,
If you have a love for a passion of whatever you do, you actually want to succeed and gather information. When
mm.
I grew up, we couldn't afford a computer. I bought a computer when I guess finished high school, and it was
Wow.
$3,000. It was on credit. So it basically had a floppy drive. So in that case, you know, I think you can achieve success if you believe in yourself, and because opportunities are everywhere
Opportunities are
to do things.
everywhere. Wow.
Yes,
That's
sir.
that's
Opportunities everywhere. I used to go to the library. The library was free, so I actually went to the library, used their computers, read about computers, read about books about computers, and had an
mm,
opportunity to work for one of the largest computer companies in the world. And I guess by
wow.
accident is actually I wanted to work for them, so I kept trying until I got employed with them.
You said something very remarkable. You said opportunities are everywhere. I believe that opportunities are everywhere, but there are also challenges or roadblocks to accessing opportunities. So I'm going to be asking you specifically, when you were
Okay.
growing up, using yourself as a case study, what were the
Okay.
specific challenges that you faced on your path, on your journey to becoming a success?
Well, the challenge is we actually didn't have a lot of money. The challenge is that that we, I didn't own a computer, but I like computers. So I actually
Wow.
had. So the basic challenge is just having the equipment to do what you want to do. So yeah, yes,
Hmm.
it's great. It was great challenges, but actually you have to figure out that when the opportunity comes, you take advantage of it. But yeah, it's challenges because most computers at the time was very expensive. Very expensive to sit back and say you want to do computers and you don't have $2,000 to buy a computer.
Wow. Two
Oh
thousand
yes,
dollars.
very yes, 2000. The first computer had a floppy drive, and I bought, and I think I paid $2,000 because the other, I think, to be not too specific, is that I think a 10 gig hard drive was another $500. So understand that our phones have more data than that computer did.
Wow. Hmm. Wow. 10 gig hard drive for $500. That was pretty
Yes,
much.
sir. Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Well, talking about finances, I'm sure that finances is part of the challenge that every person faces, regardless of who they are, where they come from, on their path to greatness. So, can you share with us what were some of the steps you took in overcoming the challenge of finances as regards pursuing your vision?
In my surrounded places that had computers, and I used them and I studied them because a lot of
Mm,
times we did not have computers. So libraries and other places allowed me to seek my dream based on opportunities that were there. So it, it's kind of interesting that we have opportunities and we never seek them. We assuming that if you want to play basketball, you don't own a basketball. You may have to go to a basketball court, and then you actually would touch the basketball. So that's no different in computers. Me is that we just can afford computers, but opportunity is to putting yourself in a situation that you allowed yourself that you can actually achieve your goal, being around other people that's achieving your goal. Because I wasn't the first person that wanted to be a computer person. You be around people that like computers.
Wow, that's very insightful. So, in essence, you're saying one of the ways to harness opportunities for you to improvise, be around people who have the same passion with you, who are going the same direction with you.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. That's very important. It's very important even to actually read up on people that actually what you want to do. If you want to be a doctor, you read about doctors. You'll be around nurses. You'll be around anyone that can give you the knowledge to get to your goal.
Wow. So, would it be right for us to assume that your association or your company played a very critical role in helping you to become the success that you are today? How were you able to get the right circle of friends, get into the right company or association that spurred you on to achieve your dreams?
Yes, sir. You're absolutely right. Even the person that tinker with the computers, I used to sit around and talk to them. So again, is that it's everybody, regardless big or small, that have knowledge that you can use to get to your goal.
Everybody, big or small, that has the knowledge that you can use to get to your goal, you need to get at it.
Yes,
Wow,
sir. Yes, sir.
that's something I'm gonna note down because it's very, very important. Okay, sir. I have another question for you. When you said you were the director of forensic and data analysis of Texas, I was like, wow, that is a very, very that should be a very, very lucrative position for someone to have. And I know that it's no small accomplishment. It's no small measure. You've really come a long way. I mean, investing 20 plus years in your career to get to where you are is incredible. But I want to ask you, what's your personal definition of success?
Well, actually, to me, is that success is actually being able to master the skill that you set out to do. Because again, I don't think anyone, if you truly successful, you never truly successful because you truly striving to be better. You have to strive to be better. Again, is that the day that you say you're successful, someone actually gonna take your place. So you have to truly have a passion for whatever you do. If it's computers, if it's whatever, you have to have the passion and continue to learn, study in your passion. Uh, I guess for definition as an expert is that I achieve knowledge on the resident expert item that I testify on.
Wow.
But in the background, I'm constantly studying and learning.
You really blew me away with that answer because you are letting us know that you don't see success based in terms of material acquisitions or wealth. You see success based in terms of performance, effectiveness, and efficiency, becoming your best and excellence.
Correct. Because I guess take an example is that back in the day, the carburetor person, the person that did the carburetors was excellent in the carburetors. Unfortunately, fuel injection put them out of business. So if you weren't willing to learn about fuel injection, you don't have a job. But you're great at carburetors, if you can find one around.
Wow, that's very true. We've had instances of people who were very successful yesterday, and the build like a monument around their success. And in the next couple of years down the line, those monuments became obsolete. I mean, the success of yesterday became the failures of today. So what
Yeah,
you are stressing to us is we should focus more on becoming excellent at what we do, improving on our standards.
yeah, and your business. You have to know your business. I think regardless of what business you're in, you have to know what actually you have to know what actually what the next person doing, the next technology.
Wow. Okay, let me put out this question to you, Mr. Bruce. What
Okay.
steps did you take, or what decisions did you take along your path to success that really influenced the person you have become today? Are there any moments in your life where you really had to take very significant decisions? What were those decisions that helped
Well, I guess
shape you into the man you've become today?
well, it all comes back to my parents. You know, my parents was very influential to actually set my path. So
Hmm.
my parents actually believe that education is important, regardless, not necessary in the books. This
Hmm.
education on what do you want to do. Uh, I
Hmm.
first started off like working at a very small computer company, learning information about that. So every step is significance. I don't care how small it was, but for me, it was the idea that I was around people that actually did what I wanted to do. You know, you around engineers. Obviously, you want to be an engineer. You
Hmm.
around doctors, you want to be a doctor, and you basically use the resource that's in front of you.
You
Might
said some.
go to yeah.
Okay, Mr. Bruce, you said something I love very much there. You talked about taking small steps, and that small steps ultimately will culminate into the big steps. You are the director of forensic and computer analysis of Texas. Can you share with us what steps did you take to get to where you are today? Precisely, how were you able to
But,
build this organization to the point where it is as an entrepreneur?
well, I first started out actually doing computers for my neighbors, fixing my neighbors' computers, fixing my friends' computer. And at that point, I realized that I was good at what I did. So I started a company, and most of my company is built on I had great people around me. I,
Hmm.
so again, um, you know, I, I had a couple of mentors that said, okay, you fix computers, you good at it. I'm gonna refer you someone else. So again, is that
Wow.
the most important is doing a good job,
Doing a
regardless,
good job.
regardless how small it is. You do a great job, someone gonna recommend you. And at that point, I started a company, and from that point, and I still get clients that I fixed their computer back in the '90s. That, and now we're in 2019. you
That's
know,
19 years
you know,
plus.
yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yeah, unfortunately, people do buy new computers, and they're very comfortable with the fact that you fixed the old one. Obviously, you can fix this new one.
Wow. Wow. So when you started fixing computers for your neighbors and your friends way back, were you paid for it, or did you start off as a volunteer service?
Well, actually, I didn't get paid for the first set of computers. The neighbors probably paid me with cupcakes or something. Hey, but you know, sometimes you put this like, okay, yeah, I can fix that. Yeah, okay. And then it led into like, hey, maybe you need to get paid. Maybe you good enough to get paid for this for this skill. but no,
Wow.
I didn't get paid. maybe cupcakes.
Wow, what a journey! What a journey from getting paid cupcakes for repairing computers so many years ago to earning thousands of dollars today for doing the same job. It's amazing
Yes,
what happens when you're excellent at what you do and you progress along the line. Wow, that's a very interesting perspective. I asked that
yeah,
question for the benefit of some of our audience, probably watching us live now or who may be watching the rebroadcast, and maybe they're entrepreneurs about to start their business, and the whole concept of volunteerism might be strange to them. I mean, I'm good at what I do. Why should I try to do it for someone for free? Why should I give out my services when I know there are no financial compensations attached to it? But here you are telling us that that's basically how you started, because you had to get referrals from people, recommendations from people. You started with getting cupcakes.
yes, sir. It's strange that sound, but yes, unfortunately, we're actually fortunate. Fortunately, the same people that actually gave you cupcakes end up giving you hundreds and hundreds of dollars in the near future for doing the same job.
Wow. Wow, wow, that's interesting. That's interesting. Okay, let's. I'm really enjoying this conversation, Mr. Bruce. But let's get a bit more serious. Let's leave the
Okay,
cupcakes matter
okay,
alone. Let me
okay.
ask you this question: what are the implications of forensic and data recovery in everyday life, whether as an individual or as an organization? What are the implications of forensics
Well,
to an
forensic,
individual and
right. So let's deal with individual.
okay.
Forensic actually is every part of life. So
Hmm.
when you take a picture, when you walk into a grocery store, when you're online and you try to buy something from Amazon, and actually it may not be the Amazon website. Forensic control. Being able to have people that can analyze that before it happens. Uh,
Wow.
that's just on basic knowledge. ATM money in the ATM machine is making sure that money goes in your bank and not my bank. so so that's big. And on the business side or the corporate
Hmm.
world, the corporate world needs forensic because in the days of uh, hackers in the days of brief electronics, you have to be able to be sure that when you put your credit card online, it's going to go to the right source that you meant to be. We have Cash App. We have so many different. We have PayPal. We have so many electronic ways that we transfer money.
Yeah, that's
It's
true.
very rare very rare that we carry money around. We carry an electronic item that we do business with. You have to have security. You have to have people that do forensic. That when you do have breaches, you could be able to track the people down, the perpetrators or whoever did something not so honorable to stop it, because
Hmm.
again is that we in the United States we are constantly uh, bombarded with ransomware. So you have people that actually can log into our networks and hold a whole company hostage in a blink of an eye because they clicked on the wrong email. So it is very important in forensic and security to know the information is going to the right people.
Wow. Wow. That's deep. So you have been in forensic for the past 20 something years. And can you share with us some of the instances, just give us a sneak peek to where forensic analysis was really critical to determining the real facts of the situation? Maybe it's a court case, maybe it's an investigation with the FBI, whatever, where your role as a forensic expert was really critical to getting to the crux of the matter.
Well, I can remember a couple of cases where actually I had a murder case where a gentleman stated that he was home and he communicated with his wife, and he did not kill his wife. Well, in this
Hmm.
case, he took a cell phone down to a Starbucks, and he had two cell phones. He gave his
Okay.
wife a couple of days a cell phone, and he actually communicated back and forth with that phone to show that he texts his wife text back. With actuality, the phone never left the house. So in that
Okay.
case, we realized that he actually tried to mimic another person using a turn off cell phone. You
Hmm.
know, this every day, you have places where people actually rob banks. The camera across the street catches them. You never assumingly your neighbor is actually recording you. Uh, you have credit card fraud. You know, credit card fraud is very, very prevalent in the millennium years.
Hello, Mr. Bruce. Oh, sorry, I we couldn't get him there. Still
Okay.
trying.
Okay. You see
Sorry,
me?
yeah, sorry, there was there was a technical hitch there. It had to do with the network connection. We lost you there. So please, if you don't mind, could you just start off where you stopped before the connection went bad? You were
Yeah.
talking about the
Yes.
case.
So basically, in our case, we was able to identify the right person and then use GPS coordinates. Well, in the new phones now, we can pinpoint actually through towers. We could pinpoint within 300 feet, 500 feet, where that phone call was actually made. So, you
Hmm.
know, when you sit back and thinking somebody's not watching you, we actually is watching you.
This is crazy. So in real time, there is absolutely nowhere to hide.
Where in real time is that if you use an electronic device, it is someone actually is watching you, or actually can achieve the information from that person. So again, is that uh, we would never ask the neighbor, "Can I see your camera?" until something happened. Some
Hmm.
happen, but ultimately that data is there, and it can be achieved, and we are to retrieve it, and then next thing you know, you're arrested. You know,
Okay, Mr. Bruce, you're saying you're really shaking this table right here. And I just want to get some things clear. Sometimes when we are downloading apps from Google Play Store from the internet and installing, we read about this apps permission. Are you granting your apps the right to you're granting this app the right to access your camera, your audio, and blah 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 blah. You need to permit them the permission to access
yes,
these
sir.
components in your phone before these apps can be effective or functional. Now, Mr. Bruce, the question I want to ask you is this: how critical are those permissions to invading our privacy as the end user of these applications? I mean, I use my Facebook app, I use the Messenger app, and all of that. It has access to my microphone, my camera, my contacts. Does it really mean that every information I have on my cell phone device, including communications that I make outside my cell phone device, but if I have this phone close by, can actually be picked up by these applications?
Well, actually, it depends on application. So yes, uh, well, okay. Let me give you a simple example. So a
Hmm.
lot of apps will say you can log in using another app. So basically, you giving that app all your contacts to use in their system. So again, the step
Wow.
I log into the system and they say, I want to create my password, or I can log into Facebook using a Facebook account. So you're
Mm.
giving that person permission of all your contacts for that particular app. So I think a lot of people don't really understand when you click on that permission, you're giving them permission to use that data. You know,
Mm.
strangely, it happens almost like instantaneously. You're assumingly that, okay, well, now I'm just going to click on this because I don't want to create another password. No, you actually letting them evaluate those particular contacts and the information. Well, and strangely, most people don't realize that the things you post on Facebook, those are going to be the same items that if something happened, they're going to look at those items. So a lot of people
Wow.
don't realize that I'm gonna kill Johnny, and I said that 2 weeks ago, and Johnny ended up dead. Well, actually, you're gonna become a suspect because you
Mm.
just posted the word that you're gonna kill Johnny. you know, I'm just mad at Johnny. I didn't want to kill him. Well, it happens every day.
Yes, yes, it does. Could that be why the military have this maxim that says, "Don't kiss, don't tell."
You're absolutely correct. I think a couple of weeks ago, I think the U.S. Congress, the person on Facebook saying that FBI have been using Facebook for a while because usually people tell their life history on Facebook,
Hmm.
and there's nothing wrong with that. The question is that if you say some, understand it's there. It's there to be
Hmm.
recovered.
Wow. Wow. That's serious. That's serious.
You know,
Okay, so go
and,
on,
and,
sir.
and one more thing is that
Yeah.
in America, we look at your social media in some cases before you hire. Before we hire you, we're gonna look at what are you posting on your Facebook, what are you posting on your Instagram, what are you posting on on your Snapchat, because all that is recoverable. You know, I can't go to the White House and I actually posted all these negative comments because they actually look at that. So a
So,
lot of yeah.
so, so what if the guy or the lady was saying it was just a joke? I mean, don't
Well,
take it seriously. It's just social media.
and it's true, and a lot of times that is the case. There are people are making this joking comments, so they was upset at the time. Well, the question is, most people need to evaluate their Facebook. Most people do not
Wow.
go from the beginning of the Facebook and look at things and may need to delete some things that actually may be compromising to whatever career path they're going on.
Wow, wow. Yes, yes, yes. That reminds me, Mr. Bruce, about the incident of the air hostess, and I think that was the British Airways, where she
Mhm.
was making some unsavory comments about Nigerians and people of black color, and the airline actually sacked her for it, even though she just posted a video and just made some few comments about that on social media. So it's really true that what we post on social media can have very grave consequences on our career. Okay. But for an undiscerning individual, I want to ask you, what steps can they take to protect or regulate uh, access to their privacy via all of those gadgets around us?
Well, I think most people need to understand what gadgets you have because a lot of people don't use the my mind went blank is the Alexa. They
Mm.
refuse to use the Alexa because they're saying Alexa is spying on them. No, I'm not going to use it. It's pretty good if I wanted to say, Alexa, what time it is? Is it going to rain today? We actually use those
Yes, we do.
This what I am thinking about it. But unfortunately, you will find out who's really spying on you, do something illegal, and have Alexa on. Well, unfortunately, you may find yourself asking questions that you never thought that you actually said. So I think we all have to realize we have to use our electronic devices very cautiously because you can recover it. Well, a lot of times we put everything on our phones. We put everything on our phones. We put compromising photos on our phone, especially with our teenagers.
Yeah, that's very
in
correct.
America, in America, when you arrested, they immediately confiscate your phone. So understand that if you taking pictures of you robbed a bank and you showing the money, well, unfortunately, if you got arrested, they're gonna use that information against you.
That's
So
absolutely true.
we have to be careful. Yeah.
Wow. So carefulness is the word. Just be circumspect in how you use this electronic devices. You mentioned you have about 22 years experience. This incredibly long career path for you. But I'm gonna ask you this question.
Okay.
If you had a chance to live your life all over again, what would you do differently?
Well, if I had to do it over again, I probably wouldn't do anything different. The difference is
Wow.
that the people that
Hmm.
I have crossed my path and have left this world, I would probably listen and communicate better. I think we all
Hmm.
run into geniuses every single day, but unfortunately, we realize how smart they was after they're gone. I think
Hmm.
that's what I would probably do different. But
That's true. That's true. I agree
you know,
with you there.
you know, you know, I'm a forensic photographer. My brother was a photographer, excellent
Wow.
photographer. He passed away, so he passed away a year ago. But if I knew
Hmm.
that, I would have learned more from him. I have other friends that was in law enforcement that actually passed away. I would have learned more from them because I had the opportunity to be in a company. I took
Hmm.
advantage of the people that you run into every single day that we don't know if they're gonna pass away or you gonna pass away. But you have to take advantage of the opportunity when it presents itself. And that's every single day.
Wow. 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 That's deep. Taking advantage of every single opportunity that you have, not just with the things that you do, but with the people that you meet. You wouldn't
Yes, sir.
change anything. Wow.
I wouldn't change anything. I don't think, I think the Lord puts us in situations and He gives all tools to use. It's up to us to use them. And He's not going to force any tools on us. He's going to put us in situations
Hmm.
that is up to us to take advantage of.
Wow, I was probably thinking you would wish to be born into a wealthy family, something like that.
No,
Just snap your finger and change the whole scenario of your childhood. Maybe be born to a wealthy millionaire, attend an Ivy League school, and all of that. But I see the wisdom in what you're saying right now.
because you understand, if 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 I change something, I wouldn't be right here. I wouldn't be right on
Hmm.
your show, and it's a pleasure to be on your show.
That's a wisdom nugget for me there, Mr. Bruce. That's a wisdom nugget. I'm sure I won't forget that. If you change anything about your life right now, you wouldn't be where you are and you wouldn't be who you are. So we have to reflect very carefully before we can implement or ask for any changes. I guess, like someone said, be careful what you ask for because you might probably get it.
You definitely will. I mean, again, is that what you seek, you will find. You will find. It's definitely, we all should be seeking, obviously wisdom, salvation. We should be seeking that. If we seeking that, everything else will automatically come. But you have to work at what you do.
On a lighter note, Mr. Bruce, that reminds me of a joke I read some time back about an 83-year-old lady who was lying down on a deathbed on the hospital bed, and she made a simple prayer. She said, "Lord, I just wish you could give me just one more chance." And the Lord asked her and said, the joke goes, the Lord asked her and said, "What would you want me to do for you?" And she said, "I want to be 50 years younger. I want to have a liposuction, a liposuction. I want to look like a model and all of that." And the Lord said, "Your wish is granted." And in less than 3 minutes, she transfigured into this beautiful looking, slim, curvy model. She stood up from her sickbed. She put on her makeup and all of that. And immediately she crossed the street, she was knocked down by a vehicle. And so she died at the spot. And as her spirit transitioned to the pearly gates of heaven, she was met by Angel Peter at the gate. And she was so furious. She said, "How could you give me such a bad deal? I mean, you just took away 50 years of my life. You gave me a chance to start all over again. And the next thing, you allowed that car to run me down." And do you know what Peter said? He said, "Sorry, madam, but the angel that was assigned to you couldn't recognize you."
Yeah, yeah. That's definitely. Yeah, we gotta careful. We gotta be careful what we ask for.
Yes. Okay, Mr. Bruce, this has been a very, very wonderful experience having you on the show. I mean, we have lots of questions we would like to ask you, but I wouldn't want to keep you much longer than necessary. I did promise you that I'll try not to extend it beyond the 60 minutes time on the clock.
Okay.
So as we wind down to the end of this episode, I have one more question to ask you. Um, this is for our audience.
Okay.
You are to make just two statements about how to achieve success in life, regardless of what endeavor the person is into. You are to give him two advice, but let it be in two statements what he can do to achieve success in life. What would that be?
One is that obviously prayer. I think I haven't done anything without God. God is actually the center of my life. I think secondly is you have to seek what you actually desire. And that's in
Wow.
any form of life. That means with books, videos, put yourself in a situation that you already successful. So if you want to be a doctor, you hang around hospital. If you want to be a mechanic, hang around mechanic shops because those are the people that have the knowledge you don't have, and that's the knowledge you need to be successful to start or increase your knowledge.
Hmm. Wow, wow, that's deep. That's deep. So that means you're a very spiritual person, Mr. Bruce. Would you consider yourself a spiritual man?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Wow.
Uh, um, uh, and it started, I guess, with my parents. They believe in a creation. You have to know that it's a better life because if you look at your
Hmm.
life now, you may not be happy, but you realize that it's another day to achieve anything you want, and
Hmm.
you got to have hope. But
Wow.
we understand hope and fear don't operate in the same space. So again, today you have to have prayer. You believe that you can do. You can't say, "Oh well, I don't know if I'm gonna do today." Well, if you believe you can't do it, trust me, you're absolutely correct. You can't do it. You gotta believe you can do it.
Wow. Wow. That's something to ponder on. So basically, it all boils down to your thoughts. As a man thinketh, so is he.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yeah, definitely. Because my best friend is a pastor, Michael Joe. He's a pastor, and he keeps me grounded. I don't care
Wow.
how smart I am. I am in the books. I'm still seeking his knowledge of the word.
Mm.
That keeps me. That keeps me, honorable. That that someone have something that you desire.
Wow. You know, it takes a lot of humility and faith to acknowledge that we need God at every step of our journey.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Well, Mr. Bruce Horn, it's been quite a thrilling, exhilarating, exciting experience having you on the Sunshine Silas show. And I want to start this with you, Mr. Bruce. Just before you sign out of the show, I want you to leave one word with our audience tonight. I know there are a lot of people who will be excited to have you come on the show some other time. Hopefully, when we reach out to you, you always oblige us the privilege of coming back on the Sunshine Silence show. We had a lot of questions we wanted to ask you, a lot of insights we wanted to get from you about your experience, your knowledge, and on your journey to greatness. But time would not suffice us to do all of that in one episode. You are a man of many hearts, many parts, and we really cannot exhaust all of that wisdom and knowledge on this episode. But in 1 minute, I'd like you to leave a final word for our audience. And just before you do that, could you please give out some information about your organization to members of the audience who might be interested in reaching out to you?
Yes, sir. Again, the company is Computer Analysis of Texas. It's in Houston, Texas. I have a Facebook. I think it's Facebook at Computer Analysis Texas. My personal Facebook is Bruce Horn, Horn, at the Facebook. And I'm pleasure to be on your show. And I find it this honored to actually be a guest host.
It's been a pleasure. On this note, please, Mr. Bruce, this is how we'll sign off on the show. Can you say something beautiful about the Sunshine Silence show in 1 minute?
Well, of course, you're basically impacting the world with your knowledge and your understanding that we need that to be better people, and spiritually understanding that you need that before you even seek knowledge. You need the basic understanding is it is a creation. We do have a creator.
Yes, we do.
So
Yes, we
I
do.
enjoyed the show. Hopefully, will be invited back. But
Hopefully,
yes,
yes, we will. I'll take you on that, Mr. Bruce.
okay. Thank you, sir.
I love that. I love that. Ladies and gentlemen, from wherever you're tuned in to the Sunshine Silas Show, this is how we do it every week on the Sunshine Silas Show, bringing ordinary people doing extraordinary things, impacting the world from their own corner of the planet. And today on the Sunshine Silas Show, we've had the singular honor and privilege of having this beautiful discussion, exciting experience with Mr. Bruce Horn. He is the Director of Forensics and Computer Analysis of Texas, all the way in the United States of America. Mr. Bruce, it's been a fantastic experience having you on the show. I look forward to inviting you again and again and again, hopefully,
Okay.
as God keeps us alive. So, ladies and
Yes.
gentlemen, I'm sure you've had a wonderful time. You've learned from the experiences. You've learned from the success nuggets and wisdom nuggets that Mr. Bruce Horn had shared with us tonight. I sincerely and hopefully wish that the words that you've had tonight are going to make a lasting impact in your life. And I believe that success is reproducible and testimonies are duplicated. Just like you have listened to the story of Mr. Bruce Horn. If you do what he did, if you stay focused, if you believe in God, if you're going to look out for those opportunities and improvise, keep the right company around you, I bet you in no distant time, your dream is going to be a reality. This is 10 p.m. on the dot from West African time, and I guess this is 4 p.m. Central CST time all the way in Houston, Texas. Ladies and gentlemen, this is your leadership coach, Nigeria's #1 bounce back coach, John Maxwell certified leadership coach, speaker, and trainer, Sunshine Silas, signing out from the Sunshine Silas Show. I hope to see you again next week. Let's keep this appointment, go out there, have fun, and manifest the greatness that God has inside of you. Thank you, and bye-bye.
Thank you. Thank you, sir.
For me, what shall I render to Jehovah? For he has done so many much for me. Nara, nara, oi, narekele. Nara, nara, narekele. Narekele, narekele mo. Narai, narekele, narekele mo.